Greetings everyone, please go mode to make sure everything's set on up. That's online, that's online. That is online. Rumble is in trouble? There it goes. Usually it's pretty quick. And YouTube. And that's online as well. Looks like everything's online. Contact the live chat window. What am I thinking? This one. And looks like that's all online. Let me go check my other computer. And there we go. Let's go ahead and get started. Let's see now. I do have 2 replays that were submitted to me. I'll do those second. I'll first do one. We actually get a bit of warm up, and then we'll do the 2 that were submitted into me. So let's go ahead and get started. Greetings everyone, and Great here with another Advanced Wars by Web replay. Spawn on the south side is the Dark Gray Hawk. We got Siler SK. Spawn on the north side is the Green Wayland. We got Greyfield Guy. Wayland, of course, has been buffed from the cartridge counterpart, has reduced boarding cost to radius 30-60-60. Provides a standard +10/+10 for all units, and all areas get an additional plus 20% offense plus 40% defense, totaling to +30/+50 for air units. Additionally, for a superpower, it does provide, of course, all that globally, but instead of +40, provides a staggering +300% defense. Hawk is, of course, technically a custom CO in Tiny Wars. Standard boarding cost to 30, 70, 120, 120 maximum energy, 20% offense, 10% defense. Does provide the Black Wave effect and provide the Black Storm effect, but do note the energy cost does not match 120, so you can save a little bit extra energy, power charge over. So, let's go to get started. That sort of music sort of slung around a little bit. I was a bit worried there. Looks like double infantry for both sides. We do have, this is a 2 base, 1 airport map with a pair of temporary airports in the center. Wayland's probably going to load himself into a battlecopter. Those not come to see him load up into a tank. Since it'll be maxed out vet tank, we're still at least +10/+10, and able to support nearby battlecopters. We do have a bike now deployed by Hawk. And I still believe there's a river behind this forest tower. I'm still completely annoyed by that. Oh, bike advanced way forward, stealthily. Double bike there with 5,000 monies. And Wayland does have 5,000 income as well, so he can go for another pair of bikes this turn. Does go for another pair of bikes. Hawk does have 7,000 income, but he probably won't go for a tank this turn. And Wayland does have 8,000 income, but probably won't go for a tank next turn because he needs 1,500 for an infantry unit. Though it may not be not a bad idea to go for a flare or recon. Goes for artillery piece. And he still has 8,000 income, while Hawk does have 10,000 monies this turn, so he can't go for a tank. And then an infantry unit there. And he'll probably load himself into the tank, but he may load himself into the HQ in the center of the map. Tank infantry. Wayland does have 8,000 funds, so he can't go for tank infantry as well this turn. It looks like both sides heading down south. We got a large number of Hawk infantry, and Wayland's pushing forward with a good number of bikes down south. T-copter infantry. Okay, I was not expecting T-copter. You can go ahead and start pushing over here. Both sides got a little bit sparse into the northern part, and Wayland's a little bit sparse in the center. Artillery is a little bit situational. Of course, there's plenty of hiding spots there with the ruins, the city, and the forest. One provides 2 defense stars, one provides 1 defense star, the other one provides 3 defense stars. And making friends with the mountain tiles? Sorry, I must have missed something. There's always a little bit of delay in the stream. Are you talking about the river forest tile thingy? Tank bike? Couple good number of projects being captured, and Hawk does end his turn with his tank on top of the HQ, so it's going to be a CO next turn, very likely. Does have A tier and flare. It's a good idea to go for an A tier relatively early, particularly against either Wayland or Tasha. Snowwind as well. Catches some sectors there, can interrupt the radar station. The radar station provides 3 defense stars. Interrupts the capture there. Artillery does not move there. The wasteland was in the way. Does seal the tank there. Does load up his unit and gets a shot there. Yep, I tend to do Days of Ruin every Tuesday. No, the infantry vision bonus you get from parking such a vehicle on top of the mountain tile. Got it. Sorry, there's some things I sort of just miss. What you're trying, because I'm never very good at chatting with people. Artillery does get a good strike there. 1 health infantry does finish off the 1 health infantry. Interrupts the capture even further. 3 capture progress remaining. Decides to put more rounds the other infantry unit there, all finishing off. Get some more shots there. Hawk does have 14 energy. ATR hitting down south. Wayland does have a decent amount of funds. Go for battlecopter and a rig. Rig is interesting. There's already a temporary airport on the field, so I'm not sure why he went for a rig. Maybe he's trying to rig the game. Artillery, double artillery there, double mech and battlecopter himself. Puts the command tank on top of the temporary airport, which of course does provide here hiding spaces both for air and ground. Wayland does see his battlecopter, not big surprise. The artillery piece is in the radius, but nothing in range. Double task that infantry unit there, pulls back the bike to the HQ, and gets a good shot in the bike. Trying to flip a property as well. Just double infantry, so saves 10,000 funds. He might be going for a bomber next turn. Or a ship? I have no idea what Wayland's going to be eyeing. There's a lot of things he can do with a pile of money. And again, there's a lot of things that many people can do with a pile of money. Hawk's getting a decent amount of energy. Nice 22 so far. The command tank is on the wasteland, so it's not hidden, but at least gets 2 defense stars. Wayland can push towards battlecopter, but of course the anti-air is close by, but he may not have seen it. Picks off good number. Battleship, okay. And does go put the infantry unit onto the southern property. It's probably a good idea to keep the infantry there, because it'll help prevent a teacup from dropping off another unit there. Oh yeah, I always forget that double shore. Double shores always throws me off. Does throw a flare there. Does not see the battleship. The battleship is a very important thing not to get flared. Missile. The missile node is added for because it knows where it's not. Got multiple artillery pieces there. Does get a good shot there. ATR will finish off the ATR with all Wayland's battlecopter, gets a good strike there. 10 free energies. All a good idea for Wayland's battleship just to strike the flare. Does got a bit of energy charge, that's why he attacked with the tank first. So Wayland's up with a nice 37 energy, goes for his own missile. Of course, with only battlecopter, His superpower only affects his own CO unit, both bar the +10/+10 global. Though, if he only affects himself, it's clearly the Flight of the Coward. That's his name, his theme song, right? Hawk goes for double missile? That's something that's probably not a good idea. Does get trapped there. Gets a good shot there. Picks it off the battleship, which was in CO zone radius. 47 energy versus 44. Hawk could get CO power. I am not sure if... Yeah, can the flare get 6 damage onto the command copter? Or 5? Because he can pick off this 1 health infantry unit there with a tank. And... let's see. 12 damage. Okay, the flare can only do not enough damage to a battle copter, so it looks like he will get a CO power deployed this turn, but at least he can perhaps get it charged up. Does go ahead and try to flip that property, but there's infantry unit there. Double missiles, new meta. Graveyard guy definitely isn't expecting it. True, but the thing is, he only has the 1 battle copter. It's not that useful. Hawk does get enough of his CO power. His CO unit's way over here. Battleship can strike it. Of course, just needs a spotter. Oh. Deploys a temporary airport? Oh, seaport there? Okay. I don't know for what real purpose. The battleship already has free reign. I would assume be trying to deploy temporary airports somewhere over here. I know there's already one there. I just don't know. The rig was definitely an interesting option. Wasn't paying attention to how much it was boosting stuff forward, but didn't seem like it was doing all too much, honestly. Interrupts the capture. Let's get a good shot there. And what? Goes for a cruiser? Why? That has no coverage. Why would you go for a cruiser? The cruiser just has no coverage. And not to mention he has a missile nearby. That cruiser's a waste. He did get a battlecopter at least. He did park his command copter on top of the temporary airport. There's a black wave. Hits the battleship, so the cruiser will get a shot off. Somehow. Vision boost? Oh yeah, cruisers do have decent vision range, don't they? Let's see, vision range 5. But still, it's not cheap. The missiles do also 5 vision range as well. Command copter gets a good shot there. The battleship can fall back, but maybe not worth it to repair it. It's expensive to repair it and doesn't really need much more fire support, so it's probably not worth repairing it. And it looks like this property will get flipped. Do have a battlecopter here nearby, but Wayland's battlecopter is very resilient. Deal a decent amount of damage there. Probably worth it. Does get a good shot there. Anti-air nearby, which was in vision range, so this battlecopter going down. Wayland actually won the duel there. Got a pair of rockets on the field. I think Hawk is going for too much indirects. 2 missiles, 2 rockets. Medium tank and anti-air. Saw that unit there. Falls back to temporary airport. Doesn't need to deploy a superpower just yet. It's not going to be useful either way. +10/+10 global effectively. And the missile is out of range. True. And he did put the battleship back on the seaport for a bit of repairs. I say don't go past 8 health. You just don't need it repaired too much. Does take the T-copter there with a missile, so this infantry is going to be trapped there. Probably going to be a join capture here, or just capture. Double. I think Hawk is going too much into indirects. Does spot the mech there. Does not move the battleship off the seaport. Yeah, that's why I said it'd probably be best just to keep at 6 health. It doesn't need to be too powerful to provide good coverage. Plus, you can always throw in the reef there for hiding, because this should hide naval units. Yeah. I still say the cruiser's not worth it. There's other things to provide vision. Vision wasn't necessarily his issue. Way too expensive for that. Might as well just deploy a recon drive up front. And the missile itself has good spotting. Because the missile knows where it's at, because it knows where it's not. Oh, loads the battlecopter in the cruiser. Can't be launched though, like a carrier. Joins the command copter there, so it gets a bit of refund. Goes for a rocket for himself. And now going to be pushing forward the rig, boost some mechs forward of the rig. Artillery in range and does spot it. Hits that unit there. Whelan right now does have 4 battlecopters over here, which is a significant amount for a superpower. A missile will still do a fair amount of damage to it. And with the superpower active, but he could use his superpower just to withstand the missile attacks, counterattack. And Hawk does go for bomber. Does strike the missile there. Rocket artillery, so Wayland's not going for a heavy number of rockets. Does hit that tank twice. Bomber advancing. Wayland still has this missile in the region, and the cruiser does take a hit there from the medium tank, which is not great. Decopter medium tank. Battleship gets direct hit there on the rocket, nearly knocking it out. It's actually aircraft carrier. He can launch it, so he can get repairs there. It's not it's expensive, an expensive repair platform. It can still launch stuff out, so it won't reduce mobility. It may shelter from powers and superpowers from Hawk, but that's definitely an expensive call there. Seaplanes are still pretty nice, especially for Wayland. Artillery here could strike into this forest. It will be spotted though. But nothing to spot it, though. The flare there, then could be rocketed. Bomber strikes the battleship. The cruiser can get some retaliation damage. The battleship will have to go down south, or move the aircraft carrier first, or maybe first launch the... I think it's time for Wayland to go for super... Wait, okay, the missile's out of range. I think it may be time for Wayland to pop his superpower and charge forward of his battlecopters. Yeah, I think this is time for superpower. Pushing up north before you get any scouting is probably a good idea. Let's hit the anti-air, takes out the anti-air. Hits the bomber there, so it does pop the superpower. Immediately gets trapped on artillery. That's not great. It hits the rocket rather than the missile, which is probably fine enough since he goes for a seaplane, using it as forward momentum. He can withstand a missile shot. It'll hurt. He will withstand 2 missile shots, so maybe they focus 1 down at a time. Let's see now. Hawk will not be able to get superpower this turn. Let's see. A missile will do 30 damage. This one, that's Specialty 1, will also effectively do 30 damage. So one of these battlecopters will get hit pretty hard, but that's about it. Though we do have some other battlecopters here, which will do not great damage as well. So his aircraft will loiter around for a significant amount of pain. Does take the cruiser, but it's definitely paid for itself. Hawk is getting a good amount of power charge, that's for sure. Wayland's command copter is still alive as well, so he can still provide some more forward momentum there. Wayland now has 22,000 versus 26,000. rocket, infantry, and duster. Howdy. Push forwards battlecopter, takes out that flare, missile falls back, guns down the battlecopter there. Good strike there. Battleship takes out that tank. Seaplane strikes a battlecopter, hits the missile, hits the battlecopter. Still got a 4 health missile, and of course this 9 health missile. Of course 9 health missile is hidden, but he should roughly know where it's at. The flare is knocked out, so the artillery could advance that forest. This missile will probably take out Willen's command copter. Along with this missile, he can focus it down. Probably could, that's outside his own radius. Hawk can perhaps get Black Storm this turn. He may just want to pop Black Wave, if not. Does pop the Black Wave. Rocket will at least get a strike, though the artillery took a nice hit there. Anti-air infantry battlecopter. Willen's command copter did go down. Artillery gets a good strike there. Goes back to seaplane. Get a strike there. Do have another seaplane still available. CO's the aircraft carrier. That is expensive. I think that's an emergency one, trying to get the CO power charge going. He's using as a flagship. Good shots there. Gets a decent amount of power charge, 14. I don't know if that was a good idea. It was expensive, that's for sure. Goes for infantry there. Only forward infantry unit there with COing a aircraft carrier. Who's on top of on a reef, so it's hidden. That's also not how reefs work. Seaplane down to 1 ammo. I think as well, the seaplane could go hit another target. The aircraft carrier can actually shoot down the duster of all things. Yeah, remember, aircraft carrier can has a machine gun that can strike all targets. Oh, I just realized Hawk has 2 T-copters over here. Oh well. And this infantry unit there could be sieged down by the rocket if there's a flare spotted. Could allow them to free up to drop paradrop on in. Will we see the aircraft carrier make a kill this turn? Takes out the rocket there. Rocket gets struck there. Sends a 5 health seaplane there. Takes out the missile. Does not use the aircraft carrier to destroy that unit. Use the seaplane. He did not need to do that. Not a problem. Background noise is something I'm good at. We do have another seaplane deployed out there. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Remind me. I just want to make sure. Let's see. Yep, could have struck the duster. Oh wait, no. Attack. Oh yeah. Yeah, it would do 40% damage to that duster, so probably it would take out that duster that was there. That aircraft carrier gets struck twice. It's probably going to not repair it. But it is being decent bait. He has a seaplane load on inside of it. Strikes the artillery piece, but thanks to extra defense, it did not take 1% damage, or 1 health. Flare, battlecopter, and tank. Missile gets a strike there, finish off the infantry unit there. I actually did pull back the carrier and did not unload the seaplane. I think that was not a good idea. Puts this one on top of the temporary port, not a bad idea. Though I think one argument why not to shoot down the aircraft, it wouldn't be not on top of the reef or hidden. I just want to say, aircraft carrier shooting down something. I don't think I've ever seen that yet cast in the game before. I just know it's possible. Oh, Black Wave has been summoned. He has 5 energy left over. Mech can get a good strike there onto that anti-air. Then maybe use the seaplane to finish it off. Missile gets a strike there on the battle copter. Mech, yep, those units finish off that one unit. Mech gets a good strike there. And won't be able to take it out though. Well, could be pushed forward with this here. Oh well. Takes out that unit there. Pops a superpower. Ooh. He is want to make sure his aircraft doesn't get shot down. Not aggressive, just offensive CO power, which he is the air defense CO. Right now, Greyfield ends her 131, Hawk ends her 161, so Hawk has a decent advantage, about one turn. Their incomes are now the same. That battleship's getting struck a lot of times. Artillery should be able to take out that infantry unit there. Finish off that unit there. You can shoot it down with the carrier. Nothing's loaded inside of it, and will be in its turn a hiding spot. And he used a seaplane. He did not need to do that, like I said. But what if you got the fact that the aircraft carrier still has a machine gun? An AA gun. Tank. Artillery, nope, the artillery is no longer in range. Medium tank artillery and T-copter. If the infantry unit finds a tank, the rock can get a good strike. Does find it. Battlecopter strike, battlecopter. Oh, nice little recon pass. We have a fully veteran missile down south. It's done some good work. Puts this seaplane on top of the temporary airport. Artillery infantry. Good strikes there. Looks like Willie needs to start prepping a defense here. So this tank will be hit twice, not get one-shotted by this one. We have some tanks in reserve, so maybe some battlecopters. Seaplanes in a region help him out. He is lacking... Oh, there's an ATR there. Yep, that will one-shot it. Does get trapped there, takes it out. Machine guns it down. Seaplane actually goes for the ATR and got enough damage that was worth it. Flare mech. $176 for 134. Oh, that battlecopter's gonna go down. And a lot of this stuff will get hit there. The medium tank will go down for the rocket and battleship. So yeah, Wayland's indirects here are just providing good coverage. Battleship was at first very questionable, but it's done great work. And him constantly repairing was a good call in the end. Hawker now is 27,000. Could eye for a bomber. Missile rocket. I was not expecting that. And deploys out his last seaplane. Double taps a missile. Does take out that unit there. Don't worry about that. Takes out that unit there. Takes out that battlecopter as well. Rig push forward for mech. Mech. Takes out the artillery. Good shot there on the rocket. Takes out the seaplane. Seaplane's actually out of ammo now. I think that's why he sacked the anti-air onto it, just to get rid of its ammo, but the temporary airport here is unoccupied. Good hits there. We do have now a full fighter in the field. These seaplanes have warned enough response for a full fighter. Let's see, 158 versus 171, so... Oh! He can still at least use the rig for a resupply there. I think he should have let the other one perhaps get on top of the temporary airport. Additionally, the seaplane will find that rocket, gets a good strike there. Push for the temporary, or not temporary, but the permanent aircraft carrier. And this one that's out of ammo does not get resupplied by the APC, but if he drops the mech, if he loads up the mech, gets inside of it, he will not be able to resupply if he also drops the mech. Pick one. This is not Advanced Wars by Web. Does hit the rocket there and the missile. Does get trapped there. Aircraft carrier can get a shot there. Will the aircraft carrier lead from the front? Double missile. He has been going heavy with missiles. With a fighter in the field, I think double missile is actually a bad idea. He can do this. Oh, he didn't use the aircraft carrier. Oh, he did that to get some power charge, though he could have got his own power charge increased by shooting it, I think. And then would have reached out to that spot. Tank anti-air. The seaplane has one ammo. He can charge forward and get resupplied by the rig. Looks like this fighter's just keeping loitering on this temporary port, just ready to ambush a seaplane. Does get a nice little scatter around, spots the flare, shoots it down. Both these seaplanes could find some harbor into the aircraft carrier and get launched a little bit later. And decides to head up north for one for better coverage. Does put the battlecopter inside though. Double tank. Great, or Wayland is at 50 energy, just needs a little more energy. Battlecopter, anti-air, and flare. Good shot there. He does spot the fighter, and he also does put the seaplane in range of the missile. That's not great. So this seaplane will be going on down. He does have enough for his superpower, just needs to deploy it out so he can't see the seaplane with his superpower. Does go for full bomber and tank. Does get trapped there. Mech, flare, and battlecopter. Does hit the rocket there twice. Seaplane hits the battlecopter. Was he's not eyeing for a superpower? He should have gotten superpower earlier to get plus 10 global. Oh well, or plus 30% firepower on these seaplanes. Anti-air, tank, and battlecopter. I just love how little damage. All those indirects firing away. Gets a shot on Lord some aircraft. some units in range of the rocket and the battleship. Takes out that tank there. Hits the anti-air. Battlecopter goes down. Tank strikes anti-air. Loads up the bomber inside the aircraft carrier. That's a little bit historically inaccurate, because not many aircraft can actually land on carriers and take off from them. Bombers in particular. Anti-air battlecopter. Takes a seaplane, hits the anti-air. Fighter strikes seaplane, does not knock it out. Tank. There's all those units there. Tank will strike the rocket. Trying to flip some properties now. Loads up battlecopter inside of it. Bomber still has been deployed. Hits this missile, takes out the fighter with the anti-air. Takes out the missile with the tank. Put some rounds there. 2 healthy battlecopters, but nothing much for them to really contest against. Right now, Weyland's just starting to steamroll. 213 value in the field versus 80,000. Oh yeah, that carrier can carry 2 bombers, no problem. Oh, and Hawk goes to his own aircraft carrier. He may just resign this turn. Or maybe not. Sort of like how Age of Empires 2, you put 5 elephants to a transport ship. In the definitive edition of Age of Empires 2, if you load up a transport ship fully with elephants, it actually does display a unique animator where there's a bunch of elephant heads sticking out of the transport ship. Looks like Hawk is just going to fight to the last. Never mind. This is Angrade saying, thank you for watching, and on to next replay. Okay, there's my warm-up. Time for one of the replays was submitted into me. Greetings everyone, Angrade here with another Advanced Wars Days of Ruin Tiny Wars replay. Small on the bottom side is the pink Snow Wind. We got Bench Warmer number 2. Small on the north side is the dark gray Hawk. We got Matemon. This replay was submitted to me, but I won't say who it is until the game's end, because it tends to spoil of who wins the game, since most time players submit in replays, they have won the game. They always give props to those who are willing to submit replays they lose. Either way, when it comes to Snowwind, she of course is a custom CEO in Tiny Wars. Independent boarding cost, 1 radius, 30, 60, 60. Bit of a laundry list here. First start from top. Unknown units get 1 health recovery, and that is free last time I checked. And all fuel and ammo gets resupplied at the beginning of each turn. Air units is plus 30% offense, plus 30% defense. And your first infantry or mech will be deployed next to your CO unit, and then the base as corresponding to it will be unable to deploy anything there, so you can't use a base twice. She's effectively the paratrooper CO. For CO power, you get 1 health recovery globally, all fuel ammo recovery globally, blah. Air units get plus 30, plus 30, and you fire off a black bomb. When it comes to her superpower, do note these both cost 60 energy. It allows you to forward deploy all air and ground units to your CO unit if it's and start out as unweighted. Of course, the bases can only produce 1 unit at a time. Hawk is of course a custom CO in Days of Ruin Tiny War. Standard boarding cost 2 radius, 30, 70, 120 with max energy 120. All you just get a nice simple plus 20 plus 10. You get the Black Wave and then the Black Storm for 50 and 100 energy. This map appears... I haven't cast this map before. It looks like it's double base, double seaport. A lot of water here, so this may be a naval map. You can see the no production symbol there, which means it cannot be used to forward deploy. And as long as one of these exists on the map, it prevents the forward deployment of any other unit. So you can only forward deploy one infantry or mech. This map, double base, double seaport, both players are off a lander. It looks like a good number of properties in the center as well. A couple radar stations, got paracom towers as well. Hawks immediately go into the center of the map. I think that one free infantry unit at the start of the game really helps out with getting pushed in the center. CO's the infantry unit there. Oh wait, I just realized something. There is no aircraft in this map. No airport. So if Snowden wants to boost up her aircraft, she will have to deploy a seaplane on top of a HQ. Which will be very strong, don't get me wrong, but it'll be a bit expensive, though it will resupply itself with fuel and ammo, so that's actually a pretty nice unit. She's able to resupply herself. Dear God, I just realized how strong a Snowwind seaplane is if she manages to CO it. That's actually pretty strong. Recon, that's interesting. Something to help her harass and gain control in some of the map. Meaning on the one map, quite possibly, since it doesn't have to follow the drop-off transport rules. Though, I haven't seen those maps all too often. I think those more or less got on the rotations since no one can do that. Can't say for sure. If those maps still exist, probably best if no one doesn't do that and be fair about it, because that could be a bit... She shouldn't have edge like that, let's simply put. But you have to rely on good sportsmanship on that aspect. Tank, infantry. Gunboat will work as well. But you also can see here, she's starting to forward deploy some infantry units. So one of these bases constantly can produce infantry and mechs center map, so she's going to have... She has great momentum. Able to get a good ball of infantry and or mechs and start going around. Yep, you can see here that she is resupplying her own CO unit, so a seaplane would allow her to... If she COs a seaplane, she would allow her to get a lot of stupid things going. Oh, did not charge for the mech and a shot onto the tank there. I'm not sure why. I probably would have done it, because it's a mech and a shot on the tank. And the tank decides to avoid it. Looks like Hawk's just going to use the fact that Snowwind's constantly forward deploying units there just to get power charge. So honestly, it would have been better for him to go in. It's probably best not go for 8 here. And I didn't see the mega tank. There's a mega tank, not mega tank, war tank in the center of the map now. That'll cause some issues, though Hawk could eye for a battleship along the side. He does have a anti-tank deployed in the field. Gunboats probably just help trying to transport units, while the lander's going to try to transport vehicles. And trying to hit the infantry there, and there's an anti-tank and infantry unit nearby. Anti-tank will provide some good cover to protect the tank, so great positioning there. War tank can't be pushing forward like that, and does push back the tank onto the HQ. And Snowden will be capturing up a contact on the center map as well. Artillery is zoning out the HQ, very nice. You got another recon down south. Number of gunboats being deployed by Hawk. He may be going to harass the lander. Mech infantry. He saves 12,000 funds. He's going to eye for some sort of heavy ship. Well, subs do start deployed in a submerged state. You can still notice cost consumption. Lander's getting pretty low on fuel. Does go for a gunboat for herself down there. And now it's 20,000 versus 20,000 income. There's still a number of despicable neutral properties. One compound captured still by Snowwind, the other one's just neutral. Artillery in position to cover HQ. Does go for a rocket there. Looks like Hawk's gonna be defensive. Maybe put the rocket in one of these behind the mountain there. Snowwind's trying to push over the left side. Artillery and a 4 deployed infantry unit there. Oh, nice. I haven't really paid attention to what all the rankings are. Because I usually see a lot of some players have really high rankings, but I don't really see them playing all too much. At least not when they cast them all too much, since their replays don't last all too long. Oh, looks like I got a aircraft carrier deployed out by Snowwind. I want to see a COC plane. It will have not only +30, of course, of being maxed out of rank, so put up +50, and have a self-resupply of ammo and fuel. That would be a demon. Ventura plays a lot, but destroys most people. That's probably why. I swear, the players that see the most amount of replays, it's usually Sylar SK versus Greyfield Guy. They always have seems like always have very long, very entertaining replays. I have to limit myself how many times I cast them because how to put it nicely or poorly, I don't know how to put it, they're very well matched. Matimon's #1 Fog of War, last Fog tournament winner, doesn't play much, got it. Matimon has given me some both Days of Ruin and Advanced Wars by Web replays, so he sort of plays both. If that makes any difference. I think he's in like the top 20 in some of the Global League standards. And looks like the aircraft carrier has bought a seaplane. We do have a battleship by Hawk over here. What I'm just saying is they're very well matched. I'm not saying they are like high end. I'm just saying they're constantly fighting each other and they have constantly very good games. Now, hopefully the battleship holds its weight. Well, depending on its weightage, let's see, the Yamato is like 71,000 tonnage, so that's how much weight it has to hold. Let's go with that. War tank slowly advances way forward. The only thing that can really pose a threat in those regions is the tank, that the mechs can get some good shots. And they're in the rear, in with the gear. Seaplane push way forward. I want to see the CO unit deleted and the seaplane get on top of the HQ and get CO'd. I just want to see it. Starting to flip the comm tower. Right now, Snowwind has both of the comm towers. To be fair, I think a lot of the quotes from StarCraft 2 are from other genres. I think all the units have like all their quotes are based on some sort of a film or movie. Well, that's the same thing, or some sort of form of media. Everything but the Cyclone, which the Cyclone's like, yeah, I got no references. As its little joke. Oh. Oh. Oh, it's gonna happen. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. There's going to have some fun times ahead. Does go ahead and seal, or no, that's already sealed. Battleship takes out the gunboat. It's the bigger gunboat, even though gunboats don't have guns. This also could be renamed Patrol Boat. I think Patrol Boat's actually probably a better name for it now thinking about it. I wouldn't mind if there was another Days of Ruin game where they add a bit more brown water ships, like ships that can go up rivers. Like, say, some maps can offer some like monitors, patrol boats to go up rivers, and just provide like minor fire support stuff. Just ideas, though. Gunboat does hit the battleship, does trap there. It's surrounded by the shores. In other words, the groundwater does take out those units there. We do have now the CO seaplane. Don't worry about the fuel; it will resupply itself. And we do have an Aether in the region, but this is a class right now plus 55, plus 55. Another seaplane there. Gotta keep close to this other seaplane for a resupply and sortie together. Oh, back at those movie things about when it comes to StarCraft 2, it's usually like 80s and 90s, or 80s, 70s, and 90s movies help fit with its like 80s and 90s themes as well. Granted, the design style between StarCraft 1 and StarCraft 2 are severely different. StarCraft 1 definitely had Terran more country folk as a style. I don't know how else to describe it, though. We do have battleship and gunboat over here. Aircraft carriers coming not loaded up. The battleship should be able to reach on through here. May need to get out some sort of anti-air to deal with this seaplane. Gunboat, or tank, and gunboat. One shot's that unit there. It's a good shot on the infantry unit there. Finish it off. Could forward deploy infantry there. Does get a +1 CO zone. Leaving that opening there for infantry and or mech. Probably best for infantry unit with the amount of infantry units nearby. Artillery. Gunboat. And does go for mech and gunboat. Right now it's 22,000 versus 22,000 income. Anti-air could range the seaplane. I think 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep, easily able to range the seaplane. But it does have plus 55% defense, which is a fair amount. Not as high as Willen, but should perhaps take 5 points damage. If I has the offhand guess. 60% damage. Of course, it will resupply itself. Good shot there. Hawk does get some energy there at 67 energy. Does not pop the power. I think it'd be good to pop the power. There's no reason why to save up power other than for superpower in general. But he's willing to plug an eye for superpower next turn. 8th year. And there's a tank inside the lander. The artillery will knock out the anti-air. That's going quite easily. Snowwind could get her superpower next turn. There's enough health in front of her. We got 28 in intermediate range, and she does not need 28 energy. she could eye for her superpower this turn. Pop superpower there, not the black bomb one. This will allow her to forward deploy 2 bases, unweighted units to charge forward. True. But here comes Snowwind's ambush spawn of indirects onto the Hawk CO unit. Oh, didn't even need the rocket for that. Hits the anti-tank as well. Snowwind's getting a lot of good ground there. That's 4 deployment, 2 indirects. Hawk has a defensive position up here. Now this side's being aggressive on this side of the map. Both sides have a comm tower. Hawk does have a battleship up here. So maybe another battleship could be used to help provide some influence. Could CO a battleship as well. And the CO unit is... the HQ is being captured. Can he actually stop that? It's the anti-tank. Twice. Anti-air does not take out the seaplane, which probably means game over. I think as well, never mind. Yeah, if taking out the seaplane, just getting 1 point damage, so maybe a bit of a low rock roll. Yeah, it was actually the other seaplane, and Hawk has resigned. This replay was actually submitted to me by Motomon, so thank you for submitting a replay that you actually lost just to get witness this seaplane, the stolen seaplane. That could be a very big monster. This is Angrade saying, thank you for watching, and on to the next replay. Yeah. And got one more replay submitted to me, and then we'll finish off the day with another replay. Not that button. I also now remember something. I think it was another replay to me. I think it was like a Tabata mirror. Just give me 1 moment. Let's see. Or maybe it was this one. Yep, this one was the one. Oh, either way, that should be all good. Greetings everyone, Angrade here with another Advanced Wars not by Web, Days are in Tiny Wars replay. Spawn on the south side is the blue Tabata, we got Jean Bat 13. Spawn on the north side is the green Tabata, we got Yoshi Rider. Tabata, the CEO that a lot of people dread fighting against. Standard boarding cost is 0 raise, 30, 60, 60. All units in the CO zone get plus 60, plus 60. And of course, for superpower, you get Storm's Meteor. When it comes to Tabata, since she has no CO zone expansion or initial radius, there's a little bit of clear path how Tabata tends to fight, in my opinion. Tabata first becomes a duelist slash assassin, where she wants to get a bunch of kills. When she gets plus 1 CO zone, she becomes a bit of a wall break where she can now leverage other units to fashion forward as well. And then when she bashes through the wall, which is easy to go from 30 to 60, you just can bring in the Storm Meteor if you choose. Also, she has excellent music. I remember listening to a remaster one I have in my music playlist. It was called by Red Ear Music. If you want a bit of a remastered one for a lot of Days of Ruin soundtracks, because after all, there's a bit of a crackling and distortion from being a DS cartridge for compressed audio. This map is a 3-base map, 1 airport, 2 temporary airports already secured. Yes, these front airports are temporary airports. They can only be used for resupply. They provide healing, fuel, and ammo, but cannot be built. Nice addition in Days Ruin. That way you can have forward airports. Well, to do forward resupplies, not pull all the way back, which generally just don't do in other Days Advanced Wars game. Just simply give you other options. Tabata has loaded herself on the tank. I wonder what Tabata loaded herself up and do. Probably this tank here. And you can see here, plus 80, plus 80. Got a bike. Huh, that end turn seemed a little weird. It seemed like it was a bit laggy. Oh well. Bike infantry. Tabata, Northern Tabata. I'd probably just have to go by green. Has gone for mech. Maybe try to help deal with the top of the tank there, but terrain won't be an issue for her to overcome. We do have an artillery piece there. Number of rivers there, so she may be on be defensive. Got a river or a sea tile here, and bridges next to it with another river there. So some mobility blockers for the artillery to fire behind. So to capture the radar station, keeps the tank nearby to provide coverage here. So if Tabata tries to engage the unit, nothing can occupy the radar station, so Tabata can retaliate against Tabata. Tank infantry. Southern Tabata has gone for a battlecopter. Does pick off that unit there. The radar station does provide 3-star defense, so she can get a good shot in return. So I don't think that was a good idea. Though she may be trying to bait it for the battlecopter. Tank infantry. So let's see, Blue may be trying to sack the CO tank to take up the CO tank. Ah, it seems like a normal game there. Do have an ET to provide some coverage though. Green has a tank over here, while there's only bikes and infantry unit down south, so Green's gonna have some good coverage here. Battlecopter, anti-air, and artillery. Or, no, that's not infantry there. It's the tank there. Looks like she's gonna be sacking her tank there to take out this tank, though she could try to join there. Does not finish off this tank there. 3% health remaining. Though Green can merge the two tanks together as well. Tank down south, anti-air. Another tank. It's not that unit there, pulls back onto the city. Once this tank engaged, does not finish it off. I swear, some of it, this is a mirror matchup, and it's playing out like a mirror matchup. Where both players are just leaving down their units with a minimal health, 1% health. So next attack, it will go down, but there's nothing to make said attack. Artillery, battlecopter, and infantry. Joins there, rather than pulls back like this one, so slight variation of play. Infantry's going to go down to the artillery. That's in the auxiliary. The tank might need to take a shot on the tank there. It does have 3 defense stars to work with, as opposed to 0. They give it some defense. Tank. Tank and battlecopter pushing up north here. Do have an anti-air up here. Does not finish off the infantry unit there. Decides to join there. And of course gets the money refunded from the repairs. This battlecopter is out of range. Now battlecopter anti-air. Battlecopter, tank, infantry, and infantry. Good hit there in the anti-air, but in range artillery, so that maybe not a good call. But then again, right now is plus 100% defense thanks to the Wasteland. So she'll probably take I'll say about 4 points of damage from the artillery, maybe 5 points. Still a fair amount though. What? Blue, I goes for a full fighter. Probably better go for a Duster and a fighter to deal with the battle copters. That fighter's gonna be beyond overkill. 31%, so I did misguess. Still worth to take the shot. Some good hits there. Looks like he's gonna lose this city. 26,000 versus 24,000. Not sure where this artillery is going. It can't go any more this way. It has to go up and around. Anti-air, medium tank. Blue's at 20 energy. If she gets a +1 radius, she becomes far more lethal. And her power charge just goes up like crazy. It's easy to go from 36 with that +1 CO zone. The Firestorm rocket does act exactly the same as Sturm meteors and target priority and all that sort. The only thing I'm not sure about is, can it target terrain? Because Sturm's meteor has to target a unit and then splash everything around it, while, say, Von Bolt's Ex Machina can target open ground. That's the only thing I'm not sure about Talbot's Firestorm. Battlecopter in a good position up north. Only one despicable neutral property left, and that'll be this radar station. Blue has gone for a bomber as well. Green goes for a Duster to help engage the bomber. Infantry, anti-air. .41 energy. Even takes a shot against the battlecopter. Puts a lot of rounds in the battlecopter. Couple tanks down south. Only two tanks in range, but this one's actually out of range. Blue's pushing pretty hard up north. Tank, Duster, bike, and bike. Really advancing. Push forward, use the 2-star Wasteland. Good shots there. Pablo cannot deploy out her superpower next turn. There's only 10 energy in front of her, and she needs another 14. Is the Duster in range of the fighter? It is. Anti-air probably needs to be in range. Green's tank only at 10 energy. Tank, infantry, and battlecopter. Does take a shot at the Duster, giving the bomber much more breathing room. Don't have to worry about a single anti-air now. Probably a good idea to sack the fighter for the Duster so the bomber can just reign supreme. Tank. Battlecopter, tank, and infantry. 25,000 versus 26,000. Just radar station still neutral. Probably be a good idea not to end. Green has any units in next to Talbot's CO zone, just to prevent the superpower. Delay it for a turn. Though pushing forward right now would be a bad idea as well. This got 2 artillery pieces, so you can't necessarily just charge forward. Battlecopter, medium tank, infantry, and infantry. Fighter heading back down south for the winter. Bomber takes out that unit there, 54 energy. Small join there. So that battlecopter, we got anti-air nearby, so probably shoot down the Duster of the anti-air. Artillery in range of the tanks, so Blue, I think, was a bit too aggressive down south. It's going to take a lot of hits there. And we also have war tank, tank, and bike. Those use Duster Strike the bomber for 6% damage. Looks like it couldn't move where the Duster is now. Does hit that Duster. Artillery. Battlecopter, infantry, anti-air, and artillery. And she has enough for her superpower, not to mention she has +1 radius to push forward to hit that infantry unit there if she so chooses. So this becomes a high priority target. It's probably a good idea to drop the Firestorm. It will just nuke one of these formations. Which one? I can't say exactly sure. Seems like this one. Not to mention +60 global is immense. Down south, blue may need going for multiple war tanks. Rockets maybe not half bad, or anti-tanks or artilleries. Something. And her something is war tanks. Does flip a property there. Green's making good progress down south. If the Firestorm lands down south here, that may be better than having it land up north, but it's really hard for me to tell. Throwing everything in that tank there. Does not get +1 radius. Not enough damage for that. With a Meteor Strike could do friendly fire damage. It will likely strike down here since the two units are too close to each other. Infantry, Duster, and medium tank. The Firestorm did drop down there. That's probably the most optimal target. Took a bit of losses, but this is the... It just couldn't land up there. How about I may lose her tank there? Does lose her tank there. Anti-air is in range of the bomber, however... Oh, 2 anti-airs in range, but that still may not be enough, because +6% defense is a significant amount. I think that bomber would be down to 1 health if being hit by 2 anti-airs like that. Though she could CO this anti-air there, which wouldn't be half bad. There's a lot of infantry targets there. I think maybe COing the anti-air could be a good call. Though COing the Duster is not a bad call either. There's a lot of infantry targets there to generate a lot of power charge. You just want to focus on grinding power charge for dropping nukes. Does get a shot there. Did manage to stand the Talbot shot. Only gets energy there, so 3 more turns at least in order to get enough power charge to get plus from CO zone. He's now pushed down south with a number of aircraft there before only war tank to defend. The fighter's getting healthier, but not necessarily enough to deal with the Duster at the moment. Just adequate. Tank. Of course, a bit of a clean sweep there with the Firestorm dropping. Fighter goes to the temporary airport. He topped off the 8th next turn. That's probably adequate enough in this situation. Tank, bike, tank. And turn 131 versus 135. This is pretty even. Hits the war tank there. Anti-tank, tank, infantry. Does take the battlecopter there. Now the fighter is, or the Duster's in range of the fighter. We'll get a good amount of damage there. Anti-air as well. Anti-air maybe just able to finish it off. Top of this tank here is pushed forward. Does take out that tank there. Hits top of this anti-air. Which still may be strong enough to one-shot infantry units there. Blue's pushing way forward, making good ground here. It does have a pair of artillery. Multiple tanks in reserve. It's hard to say who's going to win the fight, but Blue feels it has the upper hand at the moment. Tank, tank, tank. Let's take a quick look. Let's see now. This will do 40% damage. This will do 7% damage with high enough luck roll. We'll finish it off. We'll probably have the anti-air strike this and the Duster strike the Duster there. That's probably what I would do. And artillery should just strike whatever they can. Wonder. Does use the anti-air there. Actually, yeah, the anti-air may be a one-shot the bike there. Does do what I thought she should do. Interrupts the capture. Use the infantry to finish off the war tank. Top of his anti-air only needs to be up to 7 health to one-shot infantry units there. That's the magic number, looks like. Battlecopter, mech, infantry, and tank. 99 versus 137, of course, day-to-day, so still pretty even at the moment. Green starting to stabilize there for a good number of tanks. Artillery starting to get punked a little bit by the bikes. There's the medium tank in the center. Pawnee's going anti-air to protect the fighter, or could just let the dust fighter go down. Anti-air in the region, so probably not worth sending the Duster in to take out the fighter. You still have to spend time repairing it, so decides to take out the fighter, just wooded it gone. Not much as any other targets for the Duster, but I don't think she should have thrown away a sack the Duster like that. Does surround the war tank entirely and brings some artillery to fire it down. Does have one on top of the city as well. And I don't see anything to break out of it, so it looks like the war tank's going to be bombarded. Duster's down to 2 health, which may be enough to take out this 2 health bike. Duster, tank, and base skip. Let's commit a base skip. Oh, throws around there, not under the bike. Good shots in the war tank. Has it surrounded, at least from this side. And does have infantry screen there to protect the artillery. Mech nearby as well in case they break through. Hit the Duster, hits the artillery. This other artillery is in range, so it does have 3 defense stars. Minus 60%. Duster takes out the Duster. But in range, the ATR looks like. Those tanks there. Artillery in range of one of them. Tank, and bike. There's a bike there. Takes out that tank there. 5 health tank pulls back. Medium tank hits regular tank. And looks like that war tank's got machine gun down. Mech gets good strike in the tank. Duster got pulled in view. Anti-air. And another infantry. Top of the tank moving forward, hits the artillery. And he's trying to get overran again. She doesn't have CO unit on the field. Could CO the anti-air, or maybe the duster, or maybe this anti-air. All that doesn't seem great to me. Anti-tank getting hit twice. Duster making his over to the left. Medium tank. Instead of 130,000 for 115. What if there hits on those tanks? There's a good number of units. Anti-air nearby to hit the duster. Tank, infantry tank. Any tank on top of the HQ is quite resilient. 4 defense stars, so already a pretty beefy unit. Anti-air battlecopter. Strikes the anti-air. Medium tank gets struck twice. Right now, blue does have 27,000 income, green does have 25. 141 versus 113. CO's tank there, gets a nice easy kill, 7 energy generated. Green's starting to get some good presence there. If able to capture some properties down south, that could go great. Artillery, infantry. If the top tank here does go down, she at least can bring in a medium tank. Does take a bit of a beating there. Takes out the anti-air. Tank's just rotating around. Green could start capturing the city next turn, this one as well. Tank, battlecopter, bike. Enters the range of the anti-tank. Battlecopter takes out one of those tanks, brings in the top of the command tank to the anti-air. It's another tank there, avoiding top of this command tank at the moment. Looks like Green's tank will be going down. Uses 6 infantry to capture that property just to bait blue's units forward. Though it should be pretty easy to break through it and then have a tank hit the artillery, but of course we've got another artillery in the back line. More tank up north, infantry. There's some good rounds on the battlecopter, takes out that tank there. Does not take out Green. Green's tank has 5% health remaining. Only 18 energy, so it's probably just going to go down. Down south, got multiple battlecopters pushing forward for blue. Green's Duster is up north. Green only has 1 anti-air down south, which could take out this battlecopter there. Good shot there, so this tank's up to 3 health now. It's the blue's tank twice. It does get it fully surrounded, 31 energy. Maybe it'll take out this tank here. Be hard to reinforce it though. This medium tank, maybe I'll strike this tank here. It's not that unit there. Medium tank will strike that tank there. Does not free the top tank there. Good shot there on the battlecopter. Hits tank, hits tank. Oh, sorry, I just saw your a comment. Oh, see you later. And that was really long ago. Got to focus in this game. Battlecopter, bike, and tank. Shadow does steal the tank there. Does pick off the tank there for 1 power generation. It does drop the medium tank there as well. Meteor is not going to be strong enough to take it out. Trying to flip this property down south. 25,000 versus 27,000 still. Mech, battlecopter, anti-air, and tank. It's the anti-air. Infantry does go down there. Blue's spawn, pull back down here. Tank, bike. 140,000 for 119, so blue has advantage by about a turn. This is the number of those units. Hits the anti-air thrice, and quartice. War tank, anti-air, and infantry. Caldas has a new battlecopter, command copter, and no anti-air in this region. Duster is way up here to engage it. We'll just reform the lines here. 3-tile entry point across this area. Rocket, anti-air, infantry. In the center, we do have, of course, the anti-tank and artillery here. But green could be overran, but it's more close to a stalemate at the moment. Twice? No, that's 5. It needs to be Qua. Q-U-A, if I remember correctly, for 4. Now that reminds me of Undertale when finding sands. Looks like like somebody who's died thrice. What happened? What comes after thrice? Twice? Let's find out. Got another rocket. Artillery bike. Looks like a bit point of a stalemate. Though right now, blue's maybe a little bit too passive here, though there is a single war tank. And none of these tanks are quite vetted, though. Battlecopter infantry tank. Tava's battlecopter center. Duster's on anti-Tava battlecopter duty. There is an anti-air nearby. Rocket tank. Blue's going heavy rockets. Maybe trying to edge out his opponent. Green could try countering with bombers. Or maybe just more battlecopters. Duster gets on top of temporary port because it's running low on fuel. Oh, and there's a bomber. Still 6,000 funds, so probably triple infantry. Takes out that infantry unit there. Down south, green still has the war tank start pushing way forward, but we got a blue rocket for defense. Hits the duster there quite nicely. That's not great for green. Green could try hitting this battlecopter twice with battlecopters. Anti-tank's out of range of battlecopter, at least in range of the anti-air. The anti-air could be knocked out. Looks like Blue's trying to make his advance. Blue right now has 136 in the field versus 185, so Blue has a decent valley advantage. Artillery strikes the anti-air, does take it out. Hits the tank there. Good push down south. War tank keeps out of range of the rocket. Another hit there. Looks like she's going to be losing a unit to the anti-air. Hits top of battlecopter, but lost. Tank. Blue right now has 36 energy, which means +1 radius. More hits over here. Green's war tank's now getting struck twice. Blue's artillery, of course, still finding some good coverage, joins the bikes. Medium tank missile. And commit to base skip. Blue's starting to do some progress down south, though we still have a rocket there. There's some more tanks heading down south, hits the bike in the center. Or right, hits the bike in the center. Hits the anti-air. Anti-air gets knocked out. Duster gets a free shot there on the battlecopter. Battlecopter gets a pitiful amount of damage on the rocket, doing 8% damage. There appears to be a possibility that, see, I don't think Blue can get her superpower. Aircraft here are basically out of the table, so we'll just have to have the rocket strike something good. Okay, getting 9 energy there, but yeah, it looks like Blue will not get her superpower this turn. War tank down south. Green's war tank still getting hit, but not in range of the artillery. Blue's trying to zone out Green north on the northern flank with a pair of rockets, and has a good amount of reserve of tanks and a medium tank. War tank strikes the rocket, mech hits the tank, and the regular tank does go in minimum range of the rocket. Rockets nuke in the center, nothing stopped Green's bomber. Green having a bomber fly about without any retaliation is a big problem. Probably need to go for an anti-air last turn. Infantry, anti-air, and anti-tank. Battlecopter. Anti-air. Yeah, knocking out anti-air last time is going to cause big problems for Blue. So we got anti-air, tank, battlecopter, infantry. We're trying to capture the property in the center. Green right now is 28,000 versus 24,000. The Greens make good progress, and thing as well, Blue has to be careful not to lose HQ. There's some infantry that could start threatening it. Bombers push way forward, does find a spot where the anti-air does not have coverage. And green sort of just getting a lot of ground south. Green could forfeit some ground there. There's only a couple wounded bikes up here, so green could just take some reinforcements and start fortifying this area for indirects, because the city's not going to be captured all too quickly. So green can sacrifice this area. Green goes for battleship as well. War tank down to 2 ammo. Someone went down up north. Jordan captures that one bike, so there's only one healthy bike there. And the infantry nearby could interrupt it. Fighter deployed on the field by blue in the center. And we've got infantry, bike, and base skip. Bomber finds the lone A-tier. War tank takes out that one unit there. Hits the A-tier twice. Green's ever good position now. Rig, tank, battlecopter, and infantry. Don't worry about that, hopefully. Blue Tabata now has her zero power, and there's nothing that green can stop it, and will likely land here, possibly could land up here. The battleship could be brought back to the seaport in order to try to bait it up here, but I don't know if that's a good or bad thing to try to bait up there. So green's not, this CO power is going to cause massive issues for green. As green started to split up some forces. He's probably going to try to bait up here. Yeah, that looks like it's a bait. Oh, yep, that's definitely a bait target. It would probably land right here, looks like. I'm pretty sure it has to target unit directly. Guess we'll find out soon enough. Of course, blue can just simply charge forward for hyper defense. The anti-tank on top of HQ is going to still be a bit of a problem. Oh, does not pop the superpower. Green has a duster nearby to hit this tank here, but this is going to be a very hard wall to break. Hits that war tank twice, and now thrice, anchor twice. Hits the fighter there, joins there, but I don't think the duster can come in. So blue's probably going to pop the superpower. Yeah, it's going to land right there. Nope, it's going to land right here. Yeah, it's going to hurt really badly. Green now has 246 in the field versus 198. But then again, there's 3 different type of meteors. If it's HP, it could land here in the center, or it could land over here. It's hard to say exactly for sure. Let's see where it's going to land. It's best pop it. It did land up there. It looks like it was the value. It could have been indirect, because the battleship is, of course, indirect as well. Green top to lose her tank. But we could see a top bomber, which will nuke everything here. They'll literally drop nuclear warheads. The anti-tank is still alive, and specialty it has a 4 defense stars. Probably best at the rocket. Battleship will be at 4 health, can provide some fire support. That most of that health will be recovered, but remember as well, plus 6% defense up there is quite significant. Tabitha could seal the anti-tank. It may be a good idea for her to seal that anti-tank there. Yeah, it may be best to actually seal the anti-tank there. With a compound defense, it would take a severe beating. So have to be focused on, does not seal the tank there, does hit the rocket. Good shots there. Slowly making progress there. Does have to work for defense. Does hit the rocket there. Missile. Okay, is out of range of missile. Another war tank there. Battleship gets a shot on that rocket, which that means this rocket is also in range of it. Green has 195 funds versus 169. Hits the anti-tank thrice. Hits the artillery. Nothing nearby to capture the base or the HQ, so Green has some time to turn this around. And I mentioned Green's making good progress here. In fact, Green could have probably reached this HQ before Blue reaches this HQ, so it could be a base race. Anti-air, bike, and tank. There'll be a CO war tank up here. It's hard to say what she's going to CO. CO's regular tank, cheaper option. Trying to push in the center. Okay. That's perfectly fine, I would say. Get some good shots there. Within the minimum range of the missile of the bomber, so that's a good spot for it. Mech. Would have gone for an anti-tank, I would say, or something a little bit more heavier. But I suppose it doesn't need to go too far out of the base, so maybe the mech is a good option. Good cost-effective option. Green's making good progress over here as well. Blue needs to start getting some good defense. So a good amount of infantry as well, so properties could be captured. Right now, Green does have 30,000 income. This is the big part. Green's doing a good job of capturing all the properties. And this army is not going to get any reinforcements. Everything that needs to be deployed for defense down south. Takes the battleship with the tank. Loses up 10 energy for her tank. Good counter-attack, war tank infantry. And the tank is heading up north with a bike and infantry. War tank is surrounded, getting somewhat low out of ammo. 1 ammo remaining. Bike will start capturing this HQ next turn. Does finish off the fighter. And does base lock down the airport. I think Top Gun needs to go for a battleship here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It will lock down the HQ. She could seal the battleship to deny the captures, probably repeatedly. She has 28,000 funds at the moment. Does go for battleship there. But the CO tank is there, so the CO unit exists. But it still provides some good fire support. It will definitely cause issues for the bikes. It will probably not be get a full capture off. It will need a constant joint capture of a battleship nearby. Though there are some rockets there to harass the battleship. War tank's getting whittled down. Hits the duster there. Rocket tank there. Top of the tank's at 20 energy. Medium tank here. Starting to capture HQ. The battleship is in range. Probably go for our anti-tank here. Or war tank. Captures that seaport down there. Goes for a mech. Here's the thing as well. That can join capture and seemingly does 5 damage per strike. Wait, is she gonna go for a second battleship? No, it needs 25,000. Because right now, if joint capture could result in it being captured, it needs a CO unit there. But if she goes for another battleship, she will only do a merge. Sends a bomber up north, in range of the missile. She may need to go for a rocket, but that would be too exposed. I'm not sure what the percentage chance. I need to take a look at the percentage chance of the battleship hitting that bike there. But joint capture could be possible win for blue up north. Good counterattack up north. Bomber. Then maybe, see, the bomber can reach to the HQ. So there it is in range, just needs a path to it. That's a little bit easier than said and done. There could possibly, I don't know, can't see how much a bomber does to a bike on top of a HQ. Battleship does 50% damage. Battleship, what it could do is strike the tank there, and then let the mech possibly finish off, and let the bomber strike the HQ. That's the only possible way I can see it interrupt at this moment. Blue could start capturing this HQ. Yeah, blue should try capturing the HQ, putting pressure there, but can easily be interrupted. Let's see what green does. Takes out the command ticket, goes to the HQ capture. Parks right there. Definitely is exposed, though. Infantry unit there, here. And not get in front of that tank. Does strike the mech there. And okay, that will be interrupted. And within minimum range of the missile. We could see another bike do a joint capture. Be down to 3 after that. The bomber will probably do another 8 damage to be down to 1. I don't think the math is there for blue to capture the HQ. War tank popped out. There was probably an argument to delete the command tank to get CO'd over here, in my opinion. Because a CO'd battleship would pose a serious threat to the HQ. A CO'd war tank would be quite nice as well. Duster does block the HQ capture. Green's going to get the HQ capture instead. There's nothing to shoot down the... Actually, the maybe. Fully veteran tank here. That will do, let's just run up to 30% damage. There is a possibility where this battlecraft can be double tapped by the war tank and the medium tank, allow the regular tank get to interrupt. But there's also plenty of joint capture there and be running out of steam. I think green with the HQ capture. Does get it. Does get the interrupt. But of course, these infantry there are going to have trouble reaching it, though I think this war tank could be... it's a command war tank as well. There's a CO unit in here now. 3 capture progs remaining. This game's come down the wire. Battleship took a hit, but it's fine enough. But with the battleship and bomber there, it would stop the capture. The missile in position to protect the HQ, however. Let's see. I'm not sure. It's going to be hard to join capture of that HQ, that's for sure. Bomber goes straight for the missile. Has one, probably depending on the luck roll there, because it could have been an abysmal luck and leave it at 3 health, but it was not the case. It was like 78%, so it was very likely to do 8 points of damage. Now the missile here will only do a bit of damage to the bomber, giving green some breathing room. The war tank may just need to go and hit the medium tank and deploy another war tank here, or has a good amount of money. I think there's an argument to lead the CO tank there and redeploy it up here. Of course, it can't be this turn. It's a regular tank there. Another battleship. With 2 battleships, it will save the HQ, period. Rockets out of range, so the HQ is secure. The double battleship is necessary to make sure you do no HQ capture. Green won't get the HQ capture either, but it's so far the game. He has... Oh, he actually captured the airport down south. 32,000. Green more likely to win the long term with the funding. It's the bomber. Join captures there, but 2 battleships and the bomber, it will end. 2 bombers will guarantee the battleships will make it guarantee the end. Oh, I think the command tank was deleted, wasn't it? Wasn't paying attention to that. Saw something explode. Oh no, it's right there. Medium tank, a regular tank. Yeah, I think green has a game in the bag. Because you can see here, 50% times 2, that's guaranteed to kill. 1 capture progress remaining, which means 0 or 20% capture progress remaining. Bomber gets off the point, also can't be shot down by the missile, so the HQ is very much secure, so blue lost up here, and he's losing out here. Green has the game in the bag. Managed to barely pull out a save on the HQ. Infantry, and mech. And blue has resigned. That was a very good game. This replay was submitted to me by Yoshirada. Thank you for the replay. It was an excellent one. This is Andrew saying thank you for watching, and on to the next replay. If I have time for one more replay tonight, I just need to use the restroom. Please give me a moment. Open up a drink and explode. Great. Just give me one moment, just open up this drink. A little bit sick at the moment, I think it's my allergies. This morning I had to call in, because when I got my car ready to head out, my mouth just filled up with mucus. Not vomit, but mucus. It was not pleasant. First time that has ever happened to me. By the way, let's see. This replay I think is good. I think it's made some of the same players I've casted already today. Yep, we already did him. So let's find a different one. Trying to mix up the players a little bit. Did him and him. I did him. He gets a lot of decent replays. Let's see now. And did him, one of them as well. I swear, the mid-rank players have a lot of replays, good replays, but I'm trying not to do too many of the same person. Like, yep, this... Okay, one last try before I try... And forced to do another same person. Let's just do this one here. Oops. Is Air 12 breaking my client? Give me one moment to refresh. Air 12, it means doesn't want to cooperate anymore. Greetings everyone, and Grade here with another Advanced Wars Daisy Ruin Tiny Wars replay. Small on bottom right side is the dark gray. Actually, I always forget this guy's name. The custom CEO Tinker. We have Eva on. Small on north side is the green gray field. We got gray field guy, who's not in gray. Darn. Either way, let's get started. Probably should cover the CEOs, especially this custom CEO. Greenfield has, of course, has been buffed. The cartridge counterpart has reduced boarding costs, 3 radius, 30, 60, 60. All units get the standard +10/+10. Naval units, seaplanes, and battlecopters get +10 in offense and +40 in defense. So his battlecopters are nearly equal to Wayland's battlecopters. So he's also partially defensive air. He's also defensive sea, of course, but still. He has defensive battlecopters. When it comes to superpower, the really big buff part to Gray Field from the cartridge counterpart. All this is the same, good recovery, fuel, ammo, and material, +10/+10, +10 +40 for those units. Temporary airports and temporary seaports can deploy unweighted air units, including seaplanes. So this is a big part there, unweighted forward spawn units. Tinker is, of course, a custom CO, standard boarding cost for radius 15, 30, 30, so very fast expansion and CO charge. All units get, of course, a standard +10/+10. And, of course, for his superpower, which only costs 15 energy, gets +20% offense, +10% defense. So he's definitely a superpower CO, and he's meant to just keep the ball rolling. 15 energy with the maximum 30 means he can also overcharge his supply. He gets to keep the extra, so if he's fully at 30, he can at least still get out another CO power the next turn. Hawk Jr. Sort of. He sort of does look like if he had a depressed son. This map is a 3-base map, 1 airport. There's a large number of these shore tiles, or beach tiles, with a large number of these river or pond tiles there. I'm calling them ponds. They're definitely not a river. Too stagnant. There's also a large number of these mist on plains, which is a hiding spot if there's fog of war, but these also do provide 2 defense stars. But something I always want to mention as well, while that provides 2 defense stars, has the same mobility as planes, ruins have the same mobility as planes, and only provide 1 defense star as the same as planes. So in non-fog of war, ruins are no different than planes. So do not expect much from these tiles. Don't overestimate them. Broken down eagle, I suppose I can see that as well. There's also a radar station there to help with spotting in fog of war. And Grayfield goes for an artillery piece on a CO. That is something I was not expecting. Why would he be a lot of artillery? He only gets a +10/+10. Tinker does go ahead and load himself up with an artillery piece. For his relatively low stats, he can be loaded up in anything. He's not meant for anything special. He has a nice radius of 4 radius, so it's really easy to expand his radius. He's meant to be popping the superpower, lackluster superpower. And at least give his entire side a little bit extra firepower. Looks like Grayfield will secure the counter. He could interrupt his own capture to stop this capture there, but won't really accomplish all too much. Probably not worth it. However, Grayfield can interrupt the comm tower capture. Got 2 infantry nearby. Does get some energy there, 10 energy, almost enough for a superpower, because 15 energy is really easy to get. Tank, artillery, and infantry. Grayfield gets a column tower. Interrupts the capture. Interrupts that capture as well. Reinforced infantry coming on in. He does go for a rig there. Pawn try to get out forward airport for forward ambush. Most of the time, battlecop is better for a superpower. As much as seaplanes are pretty good, battlecopters are far more cheaper to mass spam out with a superpower. Tinker does go for a battlecopter, tank, and a pair of infantries. Rig pushes way forward. Good shot there. 4 capture progress remaining. Greyfield currently has 0 energy. Tank A-tier artillery. Eager has quite a bit of force in the center right now. Greyfield does have some tanks over here. Tank, and infantry. 2 captures progress remaining with 4 health. Takes out the infantry unit there, takes out that unit there. Would not be able to fully stop the capture, so the compound will be secured. Greyfield's pushed down south, has a number of forces there for escort. Battlecopter A-tier, bike, and it looks like he's going to commit to base skip. Nope, does get joined there, so he has enough for another infantry unit there. And does deploy it out. Tinker has enough for sea power. There's now a nice global aura zone. Good damage there. Greyfield has his artillery in range. Battlecopter, however, in range as well. E-tier is a little bit far behind. Interrupts that capture there. Greyfield can start eyeing the capture to secure that comm tower. Battlecopter, infantry, and tank. Good shot there. Gets some good hits. Takes out that. Nope, does not take out that unit there. Going to capture, or joins. They do have now an temporary airport being established. The river or pond unit does go down. Was waiting in too much water there. Now it's seeking with the fishies. Tank, battlecopter, infantry, and commit base skip. Greyfield right now has 24 energy, but his artillery piece is taking some hits there. A-tier is in range of the battlecopter, however. Greyfield could get a significant amount of energy in this upcoming turn. Poison on another superpower there, just trying to get 10% defense down south, looks like. Don't really accomplish all too much. Lose the duel there. A-tier, and tank. Greyfield gets +1 radius, trying to capture the comm tower there, which would be very nice, particularly against Tinker, who's going to have constant effect on his CO power. Joins with the artillery. Gains a good energy charge there, up to 48 energy. Tinker report has been fully complete, so it can start building off the ambush spawn battlecopters. And right now, Tinker does lack a proper amount of anti-air, so right now, ambush spawn battlecopters could be very nice. It looks like Greyfield will capture the northern comm tower, giving him a 2 comm tower advantage. It's the... Greyfield loses artillery there. Probably best seal this battlecopter there, since it has a really high defense. Tinker right now has 78 versus 74, so he's about to have a whole turn advantage for his day-to-day funds. Tank, and infantry. Does seals battlecopter there. Get some good damage going. Does get hit down on HQ units. Not going to be capturing, so it's not necessarily interrupt. And Greyfield does, of course, have both comm towers now. Another battlecopter. Probably triple infantry. bike, and infantry. Superpower. Nope, takes on Greyfield's battlecopter. Greyfield does have a good number of targets in front of him. He may be able to deploy out superpower next turn, but I don't think there's enough units nearby to do it. 80,000 for 69. Oh, he did? Wasn't paying close enough attention to that. That's a mistake. Goes back to battlecopter there. Could have made some engagements before pulling it back to get some extra damage going, or extra power charge, I would say. I think a wave of tanks would be very useful to deal with these forces. As a pair of anti-air does get a tank. Tank. And starting to capture this property there. Both players at 20,000 income. It looks like he's starting to pull back there. Tinker also has a good reason why not to hold on CO power and utilizing the CO zone, since he does get more firepower if he does deploy his CO power. Extra 10% may not seem like much. Probably is not really that much, but still something. Plus, he has enough for 2 charges as well. And 5 radius is still plenty large enough as opposed to 6. All depends if he needs to use his CO unit as an anti-air unit. Got tank, battlecopter, tank, and mech. He's starting to push his way forward. Greyfield could get some good power charge going relatively soon. As well, Greyfield could get a good surround. There's a lot of open ground here for both sides to utilize. We have a Duster now on the field. Greyfield does have an anti-air. There's a good shot there, 28 energy. No CO charge there. Does get a shot there. He's just showing charge forward. Does have a good amount of defense on his battlecopters, which is very important. It's the anti-air, very nice. It's another tank there. It's an infantry unit there. Greyfield's at 57 energy. But he's not going to. He's probably going to do a full spin rather than trying to do some sort of funny shenanigans at temporary reports. A little bit too far back. Not to mention, there's a good chance his copter will go down this turn. Pops is superpowered. Duster gets a good shot there in the battlecopter. There's another anti-air in range, so this battlecopter will be going down. You can seal the Duster. It won't get any extra power. Could just seal the tank instead. Tank, artillery, infantry. 107 versus 190, so about a turn behind Greyfield is. Does seal the Duster. Remember as well, like I said, he only gets the CO benefits, does not get additional firepower bonuses. Other than +10/+10. Good amount of kills there. Could probably use the anti-air to hit that first to get some power charge. There's another tank there. Joins with the infantry on top of the HQ. Greyfield's making some great progress. But overall, they're still pretty even. He may have a value head, but remember, player 2, I always add the value day-to-day funds with him. Tank, and mech. Of course, he has enough power charge to deploy another superpower. Hits Duster twice, so there goes Greyfield's Duster. Probably could seal the infantry unit there or the tanks. Maybe a good idea to just seal the infantry unit there, just get the aura going. That was part of the superpower, then turn to get +10/+10 global, or +20/+10 global. Trying to flip some properties now. Greyfield does have income advantage by a small margin. Does have the Duster there. Mech, tank. 88 versus 67 with +80 day to day, so they're still pretty even. But Greyfield's capturing properties is important. Tank. 30 energy. Seal the tank up north. Could probably got some power charge there a little bit better. Get some good strikes there. It's a good number of infantry units. 22 versus 18,000 income. And Greyfield's just getting a good number of tanks to the field. 92 versus 60 plus day-to-day income. So it looks like Tinker is about a turn behind now. Pops the superpower. Is probably going to lose a unit either way. Get some good hits in the center. Joins. Good hits there on the veteran tank. This could be merged on an 8 health tank to get transfer the veteran C. Not to mention it's getting pretty low on ammo. Tank, infantry, tank. Good hits there. Mech does take out that tank. It's another tank there. Now he does have +1 radius, getting a good amount of power charge. Of course, can deploy seaplanes for the temporary airport, and seaplanes would be very nice. Battlecopters will still be very good though. Does deploy another battlecopter. He could avoid playing out more battlecopters, so his opponent deploys out less ATS, so he can get an ambush spawn of battlecopters that will have less contest. Good counterattack there. Tinker's making some great progress. Tank. Infantry. This is going to end turn 60,000 versus 83, so Greyfield still has a clear advantage, but it feels like Tinker does have better composition in the center with just more tanks. Mech is a good strike though. Joins to the tanks. Pops the superpower. And deploys out another temporary report from the rig. Seaplane takes out the Duster. And there's no ATR in the field, so the seaplane's going to get some good work done. So it feels like Greyfield's starting to get a really good grasp of the game. 107 versus 51, so Grey is about a turn behind. Or a bit more than a turn behind. Pulls back the tanks there, but that's just not going to accomplish too much at all. He did not need to pop the superpower for that. He would not get any more defense in this region, just a little bit more offense for counterattack. Greyfield could start eyeing push towards HQ, move this infantry unit, a tile forward, or rightwards, would be enough to get in range of the HQ. Rocket infantry. tank artillery. Right now there's 2 anti-airs in the field. True, he's been doing a good job catching up cities. 24,000 for 16,000. So right now it just feels like a slow loss right now for Tinker. And now he's going to start pushing down here. He does also still retains both comm towers, which actually has been quite critical. After all, that basically just neutralizes Gray's CO zone as an effect. Gray just has very little power right now, little things to give him any sort of advantage. His superpower just gives him plus some firepower over his opponent outside of his CO zone. He's doing a good job pushing forward with a good number of tanks, mechs in reserve as well to retaliate. Tank, and tank. Cost superpower. Hits a seaplane. Gets some hits, but wasn't super great. Greyfield could actually deploy a superpower this turn, depending how the turn goes. He's at 11 out of 60, but there's a lot of targets in front of him. Target-rich environment. Neck gets a good strike there, finish it off. Rocket does get hit there as well. 50 energy, 51. And there's also now another forward airport right here, or temporary airport. He could just save his money and go for something stupid like that, but he will not. When I say stupid, I mean something very fun. But at least he potentially has enough for 3 battlecopters, both the repairs, while just 2 battlecopters. Tank, infantry. He can pull out his superpower now. And does go for an ambush battlecopter. Sacks infantry unit there on the anti-air. Another seaplane deployed on the front line. Oh, this rig just got its material back, so... I suppose having 2 rigs with that, you just get so many temporary airports. Yeah, for Greyfield, don't go more than 2 rigs. 1 is actually plenty in general. Yep, Greyfield's going to turn with 162,000 field. Tinker has 25. And looks like he's going to fight out to the end. Not to mention 20,000 versus 12,000. He maybe even get into the capture limit. Don't really know how to look the capture limit all too well, but... Trying to capture the HQ. Didn't even bother moving the rest of the units. At this point in time, doesn't matter. The HQ is going to be captured. And just capture the HQ and call it game. This is Angrade saying, thank you for watching, and on to the next replay. As mentioned beforehand, that shall be my last replay for tonight.